Rise Nation, we can send it down to our casters for the series.
Thank you very much, boys. And yes, we've got Mindfreak going up against Rise. The boys from Australia, and Mr. X, you've obviously spent some time over
Australian
there.
expert.
You know everything about them. And they've made a bit of a roster change recently. They brought Excite in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. This could be a very tough matchup for them. What are you thinking?
So look, they've made it through Open. Here in groups, they have not done much. They've been really up and down. Sometimes they're great, in the respawn game modes, and then they lose the search and destroys. Then we see them blowing out teams in search and destroy, and then they lose the respawn game modes. So it's been really up and down since they've gotten excited on the squad for Dens. This roster with Dens have been together for a very long time. He goes to Tainted Minds. They look like they could potentially be the best team in the ANZ region. They're actually out of this tournament. So this is a huge opportunity for Mindfreak to earn a ton of pro points, just build that gap even further.
Yeah, they have been battling it out in those 2Ks, back and forth. However, this is big for Mindfreak because they can push forward now, and every single stage they get, whether it's in loser bracket, winner bracket, wherever they are, they can be earning those all-important pro points. However, kicking it off, it's Rise Nation, Mindfreak. We're going into breakout hardpoint and getting on board with Aqua straight away. Let's see what he can do with the MV4. Yeah,
and I was talking to some of the guys on Rise Nation this morning, Vicento specifically, and I was talking to him about where their practice came from. Before this event, they have not looked good online, and he said it's been such a struggle for them to get great practice because, they have some internet connections between them. They're all spread out across the country. That coming into this event, they didn't really know how to kind of adjust their playstyle with the Synaptic and OSA ban. That I still think this Rise Nation's figuring things out. Yeah,
it's definitely something, affecting Vicento, maybe, like Benson talked about. The one thing I will say, just as we get into the start of this hardpoint, Mindfreak have been so inconsistent. I say that in a good and a bad way, because they're taking hardpoints off FaZe, yet they're getting, only 80 points against Orbit. It's just the consistency isn't there for Mindfreak, and this map in particular, Breakout, we can see big leads.
Yeah, you see Rise getting out to a really nice lead here early, and I do think, Mindfreak is definitely the cream of the crop in the APAC region, the best team down there. I think that's solidified now, but they need to get better practice against these top teams from all over the world. I mean, you're only going to be as good as the competition you play against, and right now, they just need to play more against the North Americans, more against EU to up their playstyle.
Okay, well, Looney's on your screen. He's on a 6-kill streak, a nice double there with the movement, utilizing the in-game mechanics there. He's got to find number 7. Finally shut down, but he did unlock his bombardment. Keep your eyes on that bottom right. When it highlights in gold, all is looking good for Rise. However, we do see Mindfreak breakthrough. There's still 30 seconds here, Mr. X, so they can claw their way back into it a little bit.
Yeah, and Excite picks up a 2-piece here, and he's the player we saw in all of our top 5s coming from the ANZ region last year. He's a flashy player. I don't want to say like a newer player in the ANZ scene, but really, I mean, this is his biggest shot, right? I mean, playing for Mindfreak, it was not on Tainted Minds last year, bounced around between a few teams. I think he needs to show up big here. It's definitely his biggest moment as a competitor so far in Call of Duty competitive esports. So I think you're looking at him, gains a ton of experience playing in this match.
And we talk about, that kind of roster change. Dens was almost, compared to, some top North American players. And he was the one that, whether it was left or got dropped or whatever it may be. So Excite's got a lot of pressure on him. He's coming into this, he's got to bring all of Australia with him right now, because Tainted Minds, they're out. We are 46-42, though, as we go into the caves. Rise Nation is in control. We're going to see them just fend off a little bit as Fighter and Excite go down. Vicento hasn't got a kill yet.
Yeah, right now, Vicento is struggling at 0-4. We can jump on board with him, see what's going wrong. But Mindfreak did battle back into this game. If you remember, it was about a 20-point lead for Rise Nation on that first hardpoint. They get back into it here on the second cell block, but right now, they are losing this graveyard completely to Rise Nation.
Okay, well, Rise Nation, at the moment, they're taking it 3v4. Vicento, I'm sure he will pick this up. Aqua's going to find one as Excite finds another double. We're going to change the rotation. I'm looking at this rotation now. There is only Looney in this position. And the crazy thing is right now, Rise have just pretty much got all the time off cave, and they're the first to set up here.
And you do see, they know that Looney's back here. Now they're finally able to locate him, get control of that back helipad area. So the spawns are going to be in favor of Mindfreak. They're going to get inside the hardpoint now. They have the cell block area blocked off. It's a very good setup for MF.
Okay, so Mindfreak, they've got the setup. They're pushing out. Buzzo's still over at caves. He's really been in the back. And you can see, number 6, number 8 pushing forward. This Fighter as well. And what this is doing, obviously, pushing them back, right, Mr. X?
Yeah, you can see. I mean, right now you're going to have Fighter just pushing straight through this back. He's going to split the players on Rise Nation. They have no idea where he's coming from. He's going to be able to pick up one. Going to get control right back for Mindfreak. So when Mindfreak gets broken right there, Fighter comes through, makes a big play, able to get the hill right back.
Okay, well, so far it is pretty even. You know what? I'm impressed with Mindfreak in this hardpoint. I thought it could have been a little bit of a blowout. Rise Nation, a lot to prove here. Of course, your previous champions coming from Vegas, and Facento, shaky shooting there as he does find number 2. Can he pick anything up? The scrap points, I say scrap, it's only 1 or 2. We're going back to the middle. And
Mindfreak is a team that Rise Nation cannot take lightly. This is the best team in Australia. They won everything down there last year. They just did not put a good performance forward at our last run of the year at COD Champs. This is a team, though, they're looking to come in here, make a statement that they're back playing at the top level of international competition.
And they're ready. You know, they've come over here, they're fighting. And you know what? They don't have the practice against international teams. Some of the European squads, you know, they have, you know, they've just had CWL London. They may have a little bit more practice under their belt. Can Mindfreak make a run? This is a huge game for them. And just to kind of stress the importance, this is a must-win for Rise Nation, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I know Rise Nation, they win this game. They're in a good spot. They control pretty much their own destiny in this group. They lose this game, then you look at the next one, Mindfreak versus Fuse. That is a very big matchup.
Okay, well, so far so good, as we do have about a 25-point lead here. Rise Nation in control of the rooftop. And this is a point, of course, where you will be wanting to focus on that rotation. And it's Rise Nation once again. They're going to back away. They're going to set up. And this is going to be a very hard job for Mindfreak. They're going to have to push as a team.
I mean, look how far away Mindfreak is from cell block. I mean, the hill just pops up. Rise in a perfect position. Mindfreak all the way across the map. If they lose this first rotation of kills here, Momo, they're in a very bad spot. They may never even get a chance to get cell block.
And the one thing about this as well is Rise can start accumulating some score streaks. You know, if they can get a few kills back to back, they're in good positions. They can really push it back. However, Mindfreak breakthrough. They didn't expect Buzzo pushing through on that wall run. Took him by surprise here, and Facento's going to be the one trying to take control. 40-point game right now.
And if you're Rise Nation, you can't let that happen. That's the spot where you feel like you can blow the game open. You're in position. You rotate early. All you got to do is pick up some easy kills from behind cover. You know exactly where Mindfreak's coming from, and you're just not able to do so. It's 3 kills in succession for Mindfreak. They're able to break that with ease. They pick up some time here towards the end. Rise Nation doing a good job. The later portion of cell block able to contest for a little bit, but now this is going to make Grave even that more important, and Fida picks up a real big 2-piece.
Yeah, that is huge. That's going to set the precedent going into Cave now as well. And you know what? He's just carrying on. That's going to be number 3 for him. He's 11 and 12, but those 3 kills have single-handedly given his whole team the full control of this graveyard now, and he's in a power position. He can dominate right now.
Yeah, you do see, though, it's going to be that number 1 on your minimap. Looney was coming on a pinch. You'd like to see his teammates push through the front side of Cave there. Then you would have been able to spawn Mindfreak out. The other members of Rise Nation just a little bit too slow to get that pinch going, and it's going to be Mindfreak able to hold on to the hard point.
Okay, Buzzo, he's going to be the one trying to collect these last 30 seconds. They're in a fantastic position. No one from Rise Nation is pushing through that middle. They're thinking about the next one as well, because, you know, what do you do here, Mr. X? You could try and get these 20 points, or do you back off?
I mean, you can see what Rise Nation is doing. They're going to back off of this. I think you may have been able to get one more attempt at it, but I think Rise Nation, they're just focusing on that commissary hard point. They're going to play for that back helipad spawn. I mean, Mindfreak is going to go up by a few seconds here, but, you know, 2 or 3 kills at the beginning of this next hill, Rise will make that right back.
Well, Looney is 18 and 8. Is almost going to notice because of the score. Well, he converted that into a victory here. Excite on your screens. Aqua and Fighter are going to find a couple. Aqua, in fact, biting back, and there we go. Majority of the kills do go to Rise Nation. They can set up strong here, as we do see Mindfreak spawn out.
Yeah, and that's why it's such a smart play to give up on that graveyard. Go set up here. They pick up the 2 kills at the beginning. Kind of ruins Mindfreak's initial push, but Excite just comes straight into the hard point. Picks up 1, shocks in the back, grabs another. Mindfreak gets control of the spawns. And the hill, if you're Rise Nation, you've got to expect the pressure to come from these angles.
That's not once, but that's twice now Rise Nation have given up hills when really, you know, we're looking at that minimap, we're thinking they're set up well, a couple of gunfights go in the wrong direction. However, Rise Nation bite back. The last 15 seconds should go to their way. We're going to be heading to that central rooftop for a 3rd rotation here. 182 to 164. This is a very close game here.
Yeah, they do have to be careful, Rise Nation, because Mindfreak is definitely hung within striking distance in this game. This next hard point in the middle of the map, you expect not a lot of time to be taken on either side. It's that cell block, the one that's going to come after this.
Yeah.
That's where Rise Nation, they need to get there early, and they need to lock it down. They've done a nice job getting there early, just not picking up the kills.
And of course, this stage of the game, you're going to see the payloads maybe come into play a little bit. We can see Excite's got 1 as well. He's 19 and 6. Really impressing me, actually, for the Mindfreak squad. He was doubted by many. But Central Rooftop is in possession of Rise Nation. They're going to break 200 at this rate. Aqua fending them off. He's going to struggle a little bit. He may be taken down. He will be. That's a double for Mindfreak as they do fight back, and we're going to see them fight for this last 30 seconds.
And what I've been impressed by from Mindfreak is just their ability to break these hills. Usually that's like one of the harder things to do as a team, especially against the caliber of opponent as Rise Nation. But they've given up the rotations every time to Rise. They're able to fight back and break these hills, which just kept them in the game. So this is what we're talking about. Look at your mini-map. You do see the players for Mindfreak backing up here. They do have cell block blocked off. Rise Nation going to need an early break.
Yeah, and you see here, number 8 and 5, Buzzo and Excite, they've already got those spawns. Shox is coming over to back them up. This is fantastic for Mindfreak. If they can hold like they can break, they have got this in the bag. They'll be pushing forward. They really need to get these next couple of kills are important. Fighter coming from the flank as well. Has been tagged from the middle. If he makes this next kill, this is huge.
He just needs to stay alive. Just staying alive, delaying the push from Rise Nation is good enough. He's going to be able to take out Looney in the middle of the map, but Felony has snuck behind enemy lines here. Needs to wait for some teammates to get in position where they can pick up some kills. Fighter takes him out as well. Fighter going big on this hill. He's on a 4 streak. He got Shox on a 6, and Mindfreak takes the lead here.
Yep, Facento's going to fall to Excite as well, and with a 20-point lead here, there is 25 seconds. They cannot end it right here, but they can get a significant start. Shox on a 7-kill streak. Fighters on a 4. It has all been Mindfreak in this last quarter. However, look at the rotation, Mr. X. Talk to me.
And Shox has these streaks, so Graveyard obviously a wide open hard point. Mindfreak can take the last 8 seconds here, not have to worry about rotating early. You can force those players back in a cave, get all the position on the hard point. Mindfreak in a very good position to close this out here, Momo.
Excite, he has FTL jump as well. They're 4 points away from taking this. You can see Rise can't even get on the hard point because those streaks are coming in. Shox is going to pick up one, Fighter with the second. Another one surely securing it right now. Excite's going in, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mindfreak, they take it 250 to 200 in Excite. He's excited.
Yeah, and you saw there at the end, it was Shox and Fighter. They go on long streaks. They build up score streaks towards the end. I believe it was a 9 streak for Shox, 6 or 7 for Fighter. And those two, from cell block to Graveyard, really won the game for Mindfreak.
Well, that man right there, the one closest to you, Excite. Some say is the the Australian Jack Dunlop.
Yeah.
For me, he's a lot better. I mean, he is performing there. He has stood out for me in that Mindfreak lineup.
Maybe not as funny. I've never spoken to Excite, so I don't know if he's funny or not, but no, definitely a better player than Jack. I think that goes without question. But Mindfreak comes in, stuns Rise Nation in game number 1. And this is huge. We talked about how big of a series this is for Rise Nation. They lose that game number 1, puts a lot of pressure on them going into the Search and Destroy.
So, Mindfreak, you know, can they continue this? We've said they've been a little bit sloppy sometimes. They've hard points. They've been getting absolutely trashed, but then dominate. They took a hard point off phase. Let's just have a quick look back at this, though, and see how it all panned out.
Yeah, now you saw that what happened was here, I feel like, during this game almost, Rise had a lot of opportunities to put Mindfreak away. When they get to cell block early twice, they get there, they hold it for a few seconds, Mindfreak's able to break. You get to the commissary, Rise Nation is there, they're set up, Mindfreak's able to break. There are a lot of points in this game where Rise Nation could have pulled away with 2 or 3 kills. That's all they would have needed. You get a nice 60 points on cell block, you earn some streaks, you can go over to the Graveyard, just kind of snowball the game in your favor after that. And they just didn't take advantage of it.
Okay, well, sitting pretty here. Mindfreak 1-0 up in the series if you are just joining us. I will say, Mr. X, we're heading into Search and Destroy. Now, this is something notoriously the Australians have been very, very good at. But I've seen firsthand Mindfreak, I think they, disassembled a few teams like 6-0, 6-1. I'm a little bit worried for Rise Nation right now.
Yeah, I would be as well. I did catch the Enigma 6 Mindfreak game where it goes all the way to around 11. Enigma 6, a very good Search and Destroy team in their own right. But I think Mindfreak, that's the one game mode you expect them to come in here and play their best at. That's one you would definitely favor them in because the Australian competitive scene actually started out with Search and Destroy only.
Yeah.
So these guys for years have been practicing their Search and Destroy. Then obviously with COD Champs and their inclusion in that, they have to start to learn the respawn game modes. They've gotten much better at that over the last few years. But Australians known for their Search and Destroy in Call of Duty.
Okay, well, currently 1-0 is Mindfreak. You can see the boys on stage. Buzzo, Shox, Fighter, and the new addition, Excite, replaced Dens. Dens, of course, gone to Tainted Minds. He's out. I don't know how he's feeling right now, but Mindfreak, I think, they're looking at this and thinking, I think we made the right decision. Yeah,
there was a lot of drama around Dens and the Mindfreak guys, what actually happened with that situation, but he moves on. He thinks he gets to a better team in Tainted Minds. So those guys were very good last year. Nimble and Zeus, 2 powerful players on the Orbit squad. You look, he goes back, plays with Damage, who he played with for years down in the ANZ scene. It definitely has not looked good for him, though. Mindfreak, he thinks he's leaving, the weaker of the team. He's going to the new Australian powerhouse. Mindfreak, definitely still the top team in the Australian region. You look at, you know, Excite, what he's done in that game number 1, definitely does not look like, you know, it's too big of a moment for him. So I think Mindfreak, they may have found a little bit of a spark now. You know, these guys can get reinvigorated, they can get back into the game and really put their best foot forward.
Okay, so let's get this Search and Destroy kicked off. We're going to start with the rig draft. So far, just having a quick scan over that, nothing crazy jumping out, of course. FTL, Reactive Armor, Camo, and Overdrive. We've talked about Mindfreak. I do want to go just to Rise Nation for a second, because yesterday, you know, they lost to Infuse. They were put to bed by FaZe. They did bounce back a little bit. You know, they took down Enigma 6. And now, I mean, for me, I look at that lineup. Looney, Fellow, Aqua, and Facento. There's so much we can say about them, obviously judging on their Vegas performance. Who's the one to watch going into this Search and Destroy and Throwback?
Look, with the way Facento played at Vegas, it's got to be him. I mean, did not have a good game 1. You expect him to bounce back in a Search and Destroy. This is what Elevate, you know, the most of the core of this Rise Nation team is made up now. It's very strong at last year. I think the real thing for me is you need to get Aqua and Facento going at the same time. They're such a powerful combination. We have not seen thus far in Respawn game modes those two guys put together good games at the same time.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see firsthand these Australian boys go into S&D, because I've seen score lines, I've seen them dominate, but I've not seen their strategy, I've not seen what they do differently, so we'll be sure to be treated to that one. We're going to Throwback Search and Destroy here. Of course, you've highlighted Facento. I'm still looking at Excite. If he can replicate his hardpoint performance in his Search and Destroy, we're going to be in for a treat. Mindfreak, though, can they push this all the way? Can they take this to a 2-0 series? Let's jump on board straight away with our attacking team. It's going to be Rise Nation.
And Excite last year during the CWL, we saw him do very nice things with the sniper rifle in his hands. He falls here almost instantly at the beginning of this round to Aqua. So it's going to be the side of Rise Nation getting first blood and getting control over the B site. And this is very rare, Momo. We see a lot of action over towards A on this map. First round going over towards B, catching Mindfreak off guard.
And this is a normal strategy, as long as you can get it down. If these 4 players can back off, they're in fantastic positions. They've got control of blue. Like, how do you now retake this bomb site for Mindfreak?
I mean, especially you see Shox with an E-Rad in his hand. I mean, look at the arrows on Rise Nation. They sit back with the assault rifles. You got to push in this open field to even contest them. It's very difficult for Mindfreak to be able to break this. It's going to be Buzzo and Shox picking up 2. Aqua and Felony are going to pick up some kills as well. They get it down into a manageable situation, though, but still, 15 seconds left on the clock. Shox going to have to back out. Even if he picks up 1 here, Momo won't be able to get back to the bomb. Rise Nation going to take round number 1.
Yeah, I think Shock's the only thing he can do, really, is play for his streaks there. Unfortunately, what it does mean is the bomb will go down, and go off, should I say. Felony, though, will stay alive, and Rise Nation will pick up round number 1. Very bold to go to B first, fast and furious there from Rise Nation. We're going to flip things over, though. We're going to see what Mindfreak can do. And this is really going to be the telling tale, because this is kind of what happened with FaZe. I was on the analyst desk, I was in the studio there watching this, and they took the hard point, then lost the S&D. It was like, this is not Australian Call of Duty.
No, and it looks like they're going to go with more of a staple strategy, something we see a lot of teams do. Just going to go over straight to that A bomb site. You get it down, you back off from the bridge. You're in a very good spot to lock this one down. Buzzo going to get tagged up here in the back. It will be Mindfreak getting the bomb down over at A. It's going to be Aqua, the 2nd round in a row, drawing first blood. Rise Nation with the man count should be able to force their way onto the bomb site now. Yeah,
that was Shox obviously caught off guard. He was watching the flank, hesitated a little bit there, but 30 seconds left. They need to make their move. Rise Nation, 4 players still left alive. They're pushing forward. Looney's going to be caught off guard by Buzzo. Buzzo with the double now, and this is looking very good for Mindfreak.
Ooh, not anymore. You see Aqua pick up 2, Facento with 1. The round will go in favor to Rise Nation, as you see Facento getting right on top of the bomb. Aqua has the FTL jump already. He's going to be starting things off 5-1. 2 early first bloods for Rise Nation, secures in the first 2 rounds.
Well, that changed within a flick of a switch. I thought Buzzo double. This is looking... Oh,
As you were saying it was good for Mindfreak, it went the complete opposite direction.
It happens, it happens. However, strong start for Rise Nation here on Search and Destroy. Of course, they've just lost out the hop one. Aqua is 5-1 already. FTL jump is available. I mean, we're only into round number 3 right now.
I was trying to think of some creative ways you can use FTL jump, like maybe even use it like a split-second overdrive, just gain a little bit more advantage on the map, move a little bit further up. It's going to be Looney getting a pick there early against Shox. So first 3 rounds here, Rise Nation has drawn first blood. You're going to be obviously behind the 8 ball. Very difficult to win these rounds if you keep getting first blooded. Well,
it is a 3v3 right now. We do see Facento was actually flanked right around the middle of the map. He's now a 2v2. Fighters left in the difficult position, and he's actually right at the back of the map. He's going to be challenged by both. Surely double teamed. I think it's a wise decision to get away from this. But you know what? Looney and Facento, if they go on hunting mode right now, it's going to be very difficult to stop.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to stick together right now. Looney
Yeah.
and Vicento, I mean, we see teams, in 1v2 situations where they have the man advantage. The only way they really lose it is when they split up. You need to just stay together, use that buddy system, roam around the map, and you should be able to take out Fighter with ease.
Well, Fighter seems to be trying to hunt them down himself, but 25 seconds left on the clock. You can see on your mini-map, and in fact, directly in front of you, Vicento's going to make the move, and Fighter, he's miles away here. He's going to have to get involved as soon as possible. But again, it's that B bomb site.
And I couldn't think of a harder situation to fight out of in a 1v2. I mean, now you just have to pick up one in the wide open, then pray the second guy just misses a lot of shots. You're able to take him out. And you see Fighter get some eyes on one. Just going to back out. Rise Nation has all the advantage here in this round.
Okay, well, they've split up for a second. He's been seen behind the plant there. He's going to find one, and this is, oh my goodness, he can find it. There we go. Fighter manages to pick up the 1v2, and Rise Nation, that is a round you cannot lose.
How do you give that away like that? And it's pretty much what I talked about. I mean, he gets the other side of the map, just praying the second guy misses. The second player there doesn't even really fire any shots at him. I mean, that's a pretty easy gunfight for Fighter to win, coming through the air towards that right-hand side. He loses a little bit of vision there behind that cover. It's a big round for Mindfreak there.
The one thing I would say is Fighter kind of made his way from the bomb to that blue building without being seen.
Pretty quick, too.
Yeah, and that was the one thing that kind of went into his advantage. If they saw he was pushing, they could have backed off maybe. However, first round on the board for Mindfreak, and they're acting fast. Fighter, the man of the moment there, does go down, and then again, first blood for Rise Nation.
Yeah, Rise Nation's got first blood in every single round thus far here on Throwback. See Mindfreak now. I mean, they are in no man's land. Vicento's going to be able to take out Shocks. Buzzo, last one alive. I mean, even if he gets this down, you imagine he's going to fall very quickly. There goes the bomb. There goes Buzzo. Rise Nation taking round number 3.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the plant there in a 1v3. I think he may have...
Yeah.
I think no matter what, it's a difficult position, but I would have liked to have seen him try and pick up a kill, maybe use that time a little bit more effectively.
I mean, you're giving Rise Nation free points for one of their players towards streaks.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, what is, like, the idea? I mean, to get bombed down and then kill everybody? I mean, it's just not practical.
Well, there we go, Rise Nation. That was a very quick round as well. You know, Fighter, you come off something so crazy like a 1v2, and then a round's just taken away like that. It's currently 3-1 as we head into round number 5. Rise Nation looking strong on Search Destroy. This is a bit of a different push, though, Mr. X.
Yeah, and I like this strategy from Mindfreak on defense. We don't see this too often. They try and come through the mid-rails. It is quickly picked up by Rise Nation, though. They get 2 first kills. And now you see Buzzo and Excite, the only 2 alive. Buzzo's going to have to back up. The entire bottom of your mini-map controlled by Rise Nation. They have pushed the side of Mindfreak all the way back, and they're split up. They have nothing really they can do here.
Yeah, this is Excite, Buzzo. They have a mountain to climb, but as soon as a bullet is fired out of one of these weapons, they're going to be taken down. In fact, he doesn't even get the chance to. Buzzo, 1v4. I don't think it's going to happen. There we go. Shut down in Grannies. Rise Nation looking dominant here.
And this should really be 5-0 in favor of Rise. I mean, this one has not been too close. 4-1 is the current score in favor of Rise Nation, but every single round, First Blood has gone to the side of Rise. Tonight, we talk, winning Search and Destroy, how important it is to get First Bloods. You're not going to win games against teams like Rise when you're just giving up that first player every single time for free.
And again, it's so strange to see. You know, they've been so good in Search and Destroy Mindfreak, and they've come out, they've stomped, well, not stomped, but they've taken the hard point, which was fantastic for them. But they're falling a little short here. Like you said, it could very easily be 5-0. And Mindfreak, they just seem to have the same strategy. They haven't changed things up, but this time the bomb will go down, and they are all still alive. Maybe, just maybe, they can pull something off.
Well, Looney gets First Blood for Rise Nation yet again, and for Mindfreak, you do have bomb down, you do have eyes on the site, but Vicento with camo could make a play here. Felony picks up another one. Looney just flies right at Buzzo. Not scared to challenge him. Shock's trying to get eyes on the bomb. Another fast round for Rise Nation.
6 rounds, 6 first bloods, and honestly, it should have been 6-0. It really should. Rise Nation, though, they're going to pick up their 5th round here, and as you can see, Aqua, calm, cool, and collected, ready for that maybe final round.
And I think Mindfreak is just trying to find something that works, trying to get going a little bit, but I mean, it seems like their strategies, they just rely on the same thing on offense, going over by that bike path, getting bombed down, and then backing all the way up. And usually it works for some teams, but Rise Nation has no fear in challenging them over in that area of the map. They just push straight through, and you see Mindfreak, they're going to hit this mid pretty quick and together. Rise Nation going to go back over towards the B site, and Mindfreak has no idea.
Wow, I mean, Mindfreak, just to point out, they are so close. Call of Duty timing coming in, and Looney, he's going to find one. That's tough. He's going to be traded out, though, luckily for Mindfreak. But again, this is very fast. The bomb goes down. A 3 versus 3 is on the cards. For Center, though, he still has camo.
And I don't think you really need to use it this round. I mean, maybe if it gets down into like a one-on-one scenario, sure, but I feel like you hold on to it potentially if things get out of hand in favor of Mindfreak. But it's going to be Fida, the only one alive yet again. He falls. It'll be Rise Nation taking game number 2, 6-1.
Well, that was not what I expected going into the Search and Destroy. I thought this is their chance. They've maybe upset them at hard point, but that was so one-sided. That was 7 rounds we saw where Rise Nation, they picked up first blood every single round.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, you said it's one-sided. Search and Destroy at a man disadvantage. You're not going to win games like that.
Well, unfortunately for them, the side does go to Rise Nation, but we are here tied up 1-1. Rise versus Mindfreak. We're going into a respawn game. Now, this is, again, where sometimes you'd heavily favor Rise Nation. And again, looking at Uplink, Mindfreak have been very inconsistent. I saw them, I think, take a 10-0 loss on one of the side stations as well.
Yeah, they have to be careful going into the uplink here against Rise. Rise is a team that once they get going, they start to just kind of push forward in these games, gain a ton of momentum. And uplink has not been a good game mode from teams from Europe and Australia. So definitely worried for Mindfreak in this next one.
Okay, well, uplink is coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this quick break.
The competition in the Australian region, it's definitely increased, especially with Dens departing from our team. You know, I don't really know what to say.
Well, I was in Mindfreak and I got an opportunity and an offer to join a different organisation, and so I went to my former teammate. They didn't really pursue, so I thought, look, if they're not interested, I still want to pursue the opportunity, so I just pretty much got up and left.
We were friends with Zeus in their team. We asked him to join, be our fourth, and he just goes, huh, as in, you know, you guys are nothing without Dens now. They got the players that they want, and we sort of had to figure out what would suit us best. So Excite now, he's really got something to prove. He really wants to impress us, so to speak. You know, he doesn't want to be that guy that lets the team that's won every single year down.
It's all fun and games winning in Australia, but if you're not winning internationally, it's kind of like no point.
It had to so be that we had to play it a bit dirty and not announce we were going, just to sort of hold them off from booking flights or not getting a team pass. It's every man for himself at the moment. At the end of the day, I win.
Well, you have seen it, Buzzo versus Dens. But there we have Roger Saffold in the audience, Rise owner. Who says Europeans don't know North American sports?
Yeah, he's always in the crowd. Just great owner for this team. Really supporting them all the way through. It's awesome to have him here at the events. But you actually heard it a little bit in that video of Mindfreak coming into this one. I was trying to get a maybe a piece that we could write before this. Hype up that they're going to be here. Merck is telling me they're coming. They're telling me they're not coming. I was like, who is correct? I'm trying to figure it out. And they have kept under the radar the entire time. They wanted to make sure none of the other APAC region teams could come here trying to get the most pro points possible. And even with all the other APAC teams here, they're still going to get the most pro points because they're basically all out. So Mindfreak still looking like the best team in the region. You heard Buzzo talking about it. They tried to get Zeus, trying to get him on the team. He stayed with Tainted Minds, thought they were nothing without Dens. Definitely proving them wrong.
Well, Mindfreak as well for your European supporters out there. They took down Epsilon to be here, so definitely proving their worth. But we're getting into game number 3. It's all tied up here. We're going into Frost Uplink. Mindfreak, we've had some doubts about their uplink. Let's see how they can perform, but straight away, jumping on board with Looney.
I feel like, the respawn game modes is the one thing that Mindfreak has improved in greatly over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Very good in search and destroy, back and goes. They've definitely improved all the way in their respawns. And you see right there at the beginning of this one, a 2-point play from Mindfreak. Nice shots from Excite there with the ERAD, and he has full control of the Rise Nation base.
Yeah, this is very, very bad for Rise Nation there. They're in a lot of trouble. Shox is running through this big, he's a big kill. That's a double for Excite. This man is on a mission, and my goodness, Excite, he's 5-0 on the main stage here at MLG Atlanta. Mindfreak, I mean, I've seen Frost Uplink end like 2-1. This is 4 points in the first 50 seconds.
And it looks like Buzzo's going to be able to put another one on the board for MF. So big scores at the beginning of this game for Mindfreak. They have come out hot here in the uplink. It's going to be Shox picking up another kill there on Facento. They have drone control in the mid-map. Mindfreak has really come out to surprise Rise Nation at the beginning of this one, but man, Excite's play at the beginning with the ERAD in their base. It's great to see some submachine gun presence in this game now.
Yeah, Mindfreak hold all the cards in this game now, as we see the first 90 seconds dwindle away, and really we've seen nothing from Rise. Buzzo's going to pick up a nice double, and the drone will be pushing forward. On the defense is Facento. He's got to find 3 players here. He's not going to be able to do it. The kills come in, but the points only go one side.
Yeah, I mean, you're okay with that if you're Mindfreak. Just keep extending your lead. You go for dead, but now you're going to be able to just play some good defense. It's very difficult for Rise Nation to score the drone from this side of the map. You have such narrow choke points to bring it through. And Mindfreak just can't get a little bit too over-aggressive here. They're going to get drone, going to throw it for some yards, and that kill finally going to be able to pick up by Facento. He should be able to get drone. Let's see where they go with it. It looks like they're going to try and force this one right up the gut.
Yep, and Aqua's going to be the one leading the charge, but Facento, he's only going for those kills. 3 kills on his streak at the moment. Finally shut down by Fighter, and you know what? Mindfreak there, they hold off. The defense is strong, and it's still 6-0. I feel like Aqua may have been able to get a 1-point play there, but just those small choke points on Frost.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Rise Nation not looking good here at the beginning of Frost Uplink. About halfway through this first round, we've seen them get the drone once. Here's the second attempt, try and put points on the board. Aqua picks up some kills. They should be able to get points here, and they do. It's going to be Facento dunking that one home for Rise Nation.
Well, Aqua's on a 4-kill streak for himself. Definitely needed at this point, of course. Rise having a little bit of trouble. And you know what? I do like the way Rise is utilizing, even the manual pass, the pass in there. Fantastic stuff. It's not going to equal a point just yet, as it finally falls in for number 4 there. Tactically played, tactically weighted. They, of course, I mean, a particular reason for kind of holding it in the base, Mr. X?
I mean, they're trying to get back towards the middle of the map before they can put the drone in, so they have players there to be able to get it to rally it. But Mindfreak there just need to they just need to make a decision, Momo. Some players are rotating back to the base, some trying to go back towards the mid-map. They need to just make one decision together. They finally stabilize, they get control of mid-map, but their lead is gone. Rise Nation now only down 2.
Yeah, this has been a good comeback here, if you want to call it that, by Rise. Couple of kills coming in for Mindfreak on this side, and we're going to see Shox control the drone. Buzzo's going to be that lead blocker, but you've got to keep your eye out for Facento. He's sneaking through the middle. I think Buzzo senses something as well, and this is a strong push for Mindfreak.
And they see they have the drone in that position over by Rowe. Well, they can slow down the pace of this game, force Rise Nation out of position, and they can steal this game number 3. Should be huge for them in the series because they took the game 1 hard point.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I've got all things going through my head right now, and I'm thinking, you know, if they managed to clutch up here, they won the last hard point. However, notoriously, they've been shaky at hard point. For me, it's all about consistency for Mindfreak right now. You know, it's I'd say a newly formed squad, but that would be incorrect. It's just the addition of Excite, but the man is going off right now. He's 14 and 13. He's got his FDL jump. He started strong, and he does again with a kill for his squad. However, battle in the middle. Looney's going to find another. And the drone, no one's fighting for this drone. It's all about map positioning and map control.
While Rise trying to get Fighter out of their base, he's just given up so much map control for the side of Mindfreak. They're able to get the drone over on Cliffside. This is usually a route we do not see many teams take with the drone. Very difficult to put points on the board here. Really only option is to use this wall run, try and get a 1-point play out. You do see Excite gonna hit the wall run. One player from Rise Nation gets him weak. He goes around the corner, drops. Drone will be reset towards the middle of the map. But I gotta tell you what, Mo, this is a huge map for Rise because, you know, we talked a lot about, you know, game 1 hardpoint. Mindfreak was so good at breaking those hills. You go back into that, this team is starting to heat up in the slaying department here in Uplink. It get very scary, and we talked about it as well. Rise Nation needs to win this one to make it out of the group.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's that mental game of going into the same game mode you previously lost. You're always going to have that in the back of your mind. However, Rise Nation do find number 6. There's 3.5 minutes left on that clock. By all means, plenty of time to get back into this. We do see Looney and Fellow just start to heat up a little bit here. But again, we take our attention. It looks like Mindfreak have control of that drone.
And I have been very confused on this side why they haven't tried to bring the drone over towards Sub-Bay. Sub-Bay has been an area that's been controlled by Rise Nation here in the second half. And you see Felony pushing straight through, you know, over towards Robo. You see Looney leading the way with the E-Rat as well. And this is the area where you saw Mindfreak have the most success. They've not gotten back to it here in the second half. It'll be a 2-point play from Aqua. It'll be Rise Nation tying it up. Mid-map, though, is all Mindfreak. They should be able to get the drone, maybe get a 1-point play out of this.
Yeah, they've overextended. They've given up that 2-point play, and they've said, right, we're going to have to counter-attack this. However, Rise are pretty set up here. We've got to see for Cento and Fellow, they actually fall. Shox and Looney have an engagement, but that drone, it's still in favor of Mindfreak, and it's heading towards the middle.
And they just need to get a 1-point throw off here. And oh, Shox banks it off the left. Not going to be able to sink that one down. And that is a huge miss there from Mindfreak. Could have put them up by 1, put the pressure back on Rise Nation. Rise Nation has all the momentum going for them in the second half.
Now, Excite has gone a longer route. Shox is going to fall. He could find a couple in the back, but if Rise keep up the tempo here, they could just walk away with this. Aqua going to find a double, however, answered back just as much by Mindfreak. That drone is in the hands of Looney, but he's no backup. He's still going to go for the toss, and he's going to go through 2 players and over the portal there. That could have been the difference maker. My goodness.
When I saw both players jump and they didn't get it, I was like, oh, this is 100% a score for Rise Nation. Just a little bit too high above the goal. And just like that, we have Mindfreak going the opposite way with a 2-point play. Wow, a big exchange that goes in favor of Mindfreak there.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, you know what, Mindfreak banking 1 shot, that one missing for Rise. These could come back to bite the teams. There could be a nightmare. However, it is not over just yet. We've got 90 seconds just over on the clock. That drone is reset. It's in the middle, and Rise Nation, they're going to pick up a double. They're pushing forward as a squad. Fellow looking to make his move.
Yeah, there's nobody there with Felony, though. I mean, you see everyone from the side of Mindfreak spawning up over by Sub-Bay. Everybody all the way in the back by their portal for Rise Nation. So Felony all alone there trying to make something happen. Not able to do so. And the drone on the side of the map for Rise. They will get control of it. Let's see where they decide to push. I think they need to go back towards Sub-Bay. That's where they've been effective putting points on the board.
I mean, what's your call here, Mr. X? You're Mindfreak, you're 2 up, there's 60 seconds left. Do you play a little bit more passive? Do you go full force, use those payloads?
It's really easy to say play passive, but then we've seen teams just fall apart doing that. I think you've got to stay the aggressor. You've got to just keep putting the pressure on Rise Nation. I think, you know, a good offense is a great defense, right? Yeah. I mean, I think you just keep putting the pressure on Rise Nation, and you'll be able to put this game away.
And that's what they're doing here. They're not particularly playing for the drone, but Buzzo and also Excite, they were pushing forward, trying to maintain those kills. Looney and Facento say no. However, Fighter back in the action. 27 kills for the man, and also 4 points for his squad. This man is on a mission. That drone is going nowhere. He's got anything to do with it.
Yeah, right there. It was Mindfreak actually in control of the drone. They had nobody putting pressure on it from Rise Nation. They take it over towards Cliffside and throw it off right away. I'd like to see them wait until that player with drone gets pressured before they get it off. So you see Shox here hitting this lower wall run. As soon as he gets some shots in him, he's just going to throw the drone down or just fall with it. It's going to get reset back towards the middle of the map, but You see, it's Mindfreak with nobody there. It's going to be Rise Nation pushing the drone forward here. Aqua trying to make a play happen.
Uh-oh, this is Buzz 2-point play. He makes the one, but with 7 seconds, surely it's not enough. That needed to be a dunk, Mr. X.
Yeah, you had no option but to get a two-point play there. I don't know. I mean, look, you obviously want to get the one, you know, maybe have enough time to go back towards the middle of the map, but you just got to force it in for 2 at that moment in time.
I think we both agree that he probably wouldn't have got the 2. Would have taken out like he did. But what my mind goes back to is, you know, minute 4, minute 6, where those 1-point plays were a little bit sketchy, where maybe Rise could have sealed the deal there. However, Mindfreak have taken 2 respawns away from Rise Nation. Yeah,
our Vegas champions. I mean, Mindfreak has looked very good in this matchup. They looked very good in this group. I mean, the results do not show that, but I mean, they go to a Game 5 versus Enigma 6. They play FaZe pretty tough. So Mindfreak has definitely come in here, played well in Atlanta.
Okay, well, let's have a quick replay. Let's just recap what we've just seen here and break it down a little more for you. The uplink on Frost started... I don't even know how to describe this. It was just all Mindfreak. The first minute, they scored, I believe, 5, maybe 6 points.
Yeah, it was 6 straight points, and Excite really took control of the game at the beginning. He was inside of the Rise Nation base the entire time with that ERAD. Was able to pick up kills, open up lanes for the team to put in some 2-point plays. And you saw Rise Nation start to battle back themselves a little bit, but I do say Mindfreak, they stabilized really well. They got control of mid-map where it looked like Rise was gaining momentum. They tie the game up in the second half, and you expected them potentially to just kind of take it to Mindfreak, just power their way through. Mindfreak said no. They went back towards mid-map. They got drone control yet again. They forced in another 2-point play, and they took game number 3.
Well, I think the expression on Aqua's face says everything right now. This is a must-win game for Rise Nation, because after this game, we will see Mindfreak again. They will face off against Infused. And honestly, I don't even want to start to break down what could potentially happen, the ifs, the buts going through their heads right now. Mindfreak, if they close this out in map 4 or map 5, it is bad news for Rise.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about, you know, Rise controlling their own destiny. They need to win this one. If Mindfreak wins it, this whole group, I mean, outside of FaZe at the top, goes completely out the window. I mean, it makes that Infused versus Mindfreak game that much more important. You feel like if Mindfreak takes down Rise Nation, they can definitely take down Infused in this next one.
Yeah.
They stay on the stage. They're warmed up. They're ready to go. That would be a crazy scenario for this group.
Well, Rise Nation, they find themselves 2-1 down in this series. Let's take a closer look at Rise Nation.
One of the key strengths of Rise Nation is the fact that these guys are all great friends, right? Team chemistry in Call of Duty is absolutely massive. We talk about it every time Roster Mania rolls around, and when you are good friends with your teammates, it's only going to be a good thing. Rise as well, they have a lot of confidence winning the last event. I mean, that's going to do wonders for them as they head into MLG Atlanta. The addition of Looney, that was massive for them in my opinion, and you look at Search and Destroy, I think Rise are arguably one of the best teams at it right now.
It's no secret that on the main stage, in the toughest moments, that this trio at points was a little inconsistent. You needed Aqua to always go off last year, and you didn't always see that. Yes, now with Looney being added into the lineup, I think that helps, but they need to remain consistent not only from this first event at Vegas, but now coming into Atlanta. They cannot take the foot off the gas pedal.
You look at Infinite Warfare and you think of Rise, and I'm so excited for them for the entire year. I think if they can keep their heads down and keep grinding all year long, stay as a team when you know many other teams are going to make changes, this is a team who, come COD champs, could make a serious run and potentially walk away with that trophy.
Well, you guys heard it there, Rise Nation. It needs to be consistent. They've been here before. They've played on the MLG main stage time and time again. I mean, for Center, that's your MVP of Vegas. They surely know what it takes right now.
Yeah, they just have not looked great this weekend thus far. I mean, still a lot of time left in this tournament. But I think the real story here is just Mindfreak. I mean, battling through open bracket, getting all the way through that, coming into this group. I mean, 1 round away from beating E6. They take that round. They're 1-1 in this pool right now. They're in a pretty good spot if they beat Rise Nation to make it out. They fall a little bit early to E6. They fall to FaZe. They put themselves in a tough spot in the pool, but I think they're definitely going to be a tough contender the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's really showing that Australia at the moment, they've come. This is their best squad, and they're proving that right now. I mean, the rest of Australia, you know, they've got to be looking at this and being, you know, a little bit worried because,
You know, I'm sure Mindfreak want to go all the way, but those pro points are starting to rack up, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I bet you once they saw Mindfreak kind of break up, I think Chiefs probably said, hey, you know, this could be ours for the taking. Same with Tainted Minds, but Mindfreak definitely has come and asserted their dominance as the best team in ANZ this weekend.
Okay, so Facento, Felony, Aqua, and Looney find themselves 2-1 down against this Australian team. They're going into now another hard point. You know, the first one, we saw how that went down. It was a bit of a shock to myself, obviously a shock to most, really. Can Mindfreak actually do this? Can they close this out 3-1 right now?
I think without a doubt. I think they have a very good chance to close this out. I mean, they take the first hard point. They were great at breaking those hills, like we said. If they rotate a little bit earlier, win some of those gunfights, and then they also bring in that same, you know, explosive ability to break these hard points, I think they definitely can.
Okay, well, these guys will be going into game number 4 very, very shortly. But before we do, let's have a look at our top 3 predictions video.
I think the top 3 teams coming into this weekend are probably, I would go with Rise. I know a lot of people are saying they're bad, but I mean, they won the last event, so you really can't count them out. They didn't forget how to play the game. They might not just be the best team online, but I definitely think they'll make some more noise this weekend, and they're going to go far in this tournament. And then I'm going to say Optic Gaming as well. They've been killing it online. They've been practicing a lot, getting a lot better. So if we match up with them this weekend, it's going to be another good match, and I expect them to go far. And then I'm going to say ourselves, FaZe, because we've been playing well, practicing hard, so we're going to show it this weekend.
Top 3 teams, I'm going to say EG, Optic, FaZe. The thing about EG is, like, on our team, we have a hype player, which is me. We have a structured player, which is Nameless. Then we have a smart player, which is Naga. And then we have a maniac player, which is Havoc. So if you just mix them all together and we're just clicking, then I feel like no team can stop us.
My top 3 teams are Elevate being us first, FaZe being second, and E United being third.
The top 3 teams in Atlanta right now are probably FaZe, Rise, and going off online performances, E Unite, but I can't see them being very good.
Us, FaZe, and Optic. I just feel like they've been playing, those two online have been playing very well. And as long as they clutch up in their search and destroys, there's no reason that team shouldn't perform top 3. And I'm feeling very confident about our ability.
If I had to include ourselves, I obviously want to put ourselves at first. Envy, they have been playing really good recently compared to Vegas. And if I had to choose another team, it would be either FaZe or Optic. They always have really close series. That's a toss-up between those two.
Okay, well, there's your top 3 predictions, and you know what? There's a lot of variety going into that. You hear the likes of Envy, E United, Rise, FaZe, Optic, like...
It's great to see.
Yeah.
I feel like this game, more than any, it's been completely wide open at the beginning. Usually early in a Call of Duty competitive title, we have like one team kind of like assert their dominance, like we're the #1 team. They usually kind of ride that out through the rest of the year. I do not feel that way at this moment in time, even with individual players. I did a lot of those interviews, and when we talked about best players, I mean, we were hearing a ton of different players. I mean, we Gunless and Articities were, you know, really up there. Articities, you heard a lot of, you know, players on Optic as well, but it's very wide open this year.
Okay, so map number 4, we're going to Retaliation. It's Mindfreak versus Rise. Let's kick things off with the Aussies. Let's see what they can do. They're 2-1 up in this series if you're just joining us. They're 1 map away from upsetting this pool.
And it's going to be 2 kills from Buzzo at the beginning. They get control of Bridge. Very good start here from Mindfreak. They jump up 10-0. They wipe the board with the Risation at the beginning of this one. You see Fida working around the outside. He has 1 player directly in front of him, not able to locate the second. But still, very good, aggressive first hold here from Mindfreak.
Yeah, this is fantastic to see. You know, a squad kind of come in from the open bracket and show their worth. However, Rise Nation, they're going to break that. There is still 25 seconds left to go. So the choice is now, Mindfreak. Do you push through? Do you try and stop this scrap points, or do you rotate to that bottom market? Judging off what we're seeing, Mindfreak, they're battling for these last 15 seconds. They're going to give the full rotation to Rise.
Well, how strong they were breaking the hard points in the first hard point, I don't really hate them for it. I mean, they did such a fantastic job doing that, and that's kind of the play style. It seems like, at least here in the first 2 hard points I'm seeing them play, that they're going to go with. They're going to try and take the extended period of time, and then they're going to rely on their gun skill to break these hills.
Well, Excite is the first one to rack up a score streak. It's going to be a Scarab, not going to be effective to gain anything but intel. And there you go, straight away. How did he not win that? I'm not sure. But Aqua comes out on top, and we do have a bit of a battle at this bottom market. A couple of kills coming in for Mindfreak, answered back equally by Aqua, but we see the points go only one way. This is Mindfreak. We've seen another break.
Yeah, I mean, Rise Nation, they take the first 30 seconds or so. MF comes in, they're going to take the last, 35 seconds about, and you do see Cathedral spawns coming in here for Mindfreak. So Buzzo going to be important here. Has to pick up this kill in the hotel hallway. The rest of his team's going to spawn in the back. No reason for Mindfreak to push this one. They're going to sit up in the market as well. They will be able to get control of this next hard point. This is where they can get out to a big lead.
I love this from Mindfreak. They have set up so perfectly. And one thing I do want to point out, as we do have a couple of seconds, I saw one of the players in Cathedral for Mindfreak. They were in the craziest spot, just contesting for like 20 seconds against another team. Let's see if they use that here, though, as we do see Excite go down. Fighter's going to be the one in the hill, but Aqua and the boys, they're going to be pushing forward. This is very good for Rise Nation. The break is perfect.
Yeah, far split spawn coming in for Mindfreak as well. They're going to have to trek across the bridge. Not ideal for the Australian squad here as Rise Nation breaks early on Cathedral. They should be able to get a full 60 out of this. Usually when we see a team break, get inside of this hard point, spawn the other team out, it's a very easy one to hold down.
Huge double there for Facento, and that is going to lock things down. And one thing I will say about Mindfreak on this, which, you know, is a little bit different, it seems like they're pushing one by one, you know, just trying to braid this is not going to happen, but this really is what we call maybe a money hill, you know, where you can really saturate 50, 60 points from the full 60.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tie game going into that hard point. And I mean, Rise Nation about to be up about 100, a little bit more than 100, like 103 to 56. So you're going to have to see Mindfreak hold down Broken here for the extended period and to make it back into this game. If they get broken here, it could get very bad.
Oh, absolutely. But this is, again, a hard point which you can hold. We're going to see Looney. He should have fell. He doesn't, though. It's Excite. I don't know what happened there. I think he was trying to shoot as well, Fellow. But the two come in as a pair. They're going to push forward. This could be a big break as Shocks does fall. This is big for Looney if he can make the kill. And with that contestation going away, he knows exactly where they are.
Yeah, Mindfreak's going to back out of the hard point to fight some of these gunfights. Looney is going to be able to line up one, has teammates coming through the front side. Looney's just done a great job being a nuisance, staying alive so long in the back of this hill, where Mindfreak has not been able to take a big advantage from it. Sure, they're going to get some time here towards the later half of it. They can get close to getting to the 100-point mark, but that looked like one where you could have seen Mindfreak take a full 60. Looney just stalls it out at the end.
Well, before we go to the middle, Rise Nation, are they going to go for one more push? It doesn't look like it. They're backing off. They're going into bar, and you can see those 4 red arrows just kind of clumping up in the middle. You'll see why in a second. However, Aqua, Excite, putting kills on the board. Shocks, he's going to get the scrap point, but over here, Fighters trying to break through. A very difficult job.
Is this reminiscent of the first hard points? Because for me, I kind of feel like it's just kind of the flow of the game from the standpoint that it seems like Rise Nation, like I felt like in the first rotation hills in the first hard point, we gave a ton of love to Rise. We're like, oh, they're doing so well. You know, Mindfreak was not slaying at the most of their potential, but they just stayed in the game long enough to where they were able to make these comebacks towards the end. And right now, I'm getting the same vibe from this game 4.
Well, it is very reminiscent of that map 1. I do agree with you there, Mr. X. And you know what? Fighter's in a great position here because what he's doing, obviously just sitting back, he's not really on the hard point, but he's giving himself a little bit of leeway. Not going to work out for him there as Rise does break through. We're going to see around about 20-point game here for Rise Nation.
If they take the rest of this time here. I mean, there is nobody on the hill right now for either team. You do see Rise finally get control of it. Looks like Mindfreak has gone over towards the bridge. So, well, Mindfreak still in striking distance. They just need a good hold on Cathedral. They got there first the last time. They controlled the spawns through the lower market. They do that again, but win the gunfights at the beginning of that hill, they're going to take the lead here.
Massive Trinity Rockets coming in there for Facento. Aqua's on a 5-kill streak as well. The craziest thing is Aqua's just like, I am not getting on this hill. He is running around. He is slaying. He's only got 6 seconds. However, Rise Nation, they're going to take a 40-point lead. But looking at that mini-map, they're in a very good position to extend this even further.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Mindfreak not really close towards that bridge hard point right now. Only one player inside of it for Rise Nation, but it does not matter. All the kills going in favor of Rise. Mindfreak going to spawn over by the broken building. Let's see what they decide to do. I mean, 25 seconds, you're down by a lot now. You have to kind of push this, but you can't afford to give up that lower market, though.
Yeah, that is twice now we've seen 4 down. You know, look at the kill streaks. 2 for Looney, 3 for Fellow. Aqua was on a 3 there as before he went down, and Facento on a 4. For the last minute, it has been all Rise Nation. Mindfreak will have the rotation here, but the boys of Rise Nation, they have that momentum. They can try and break this. Mindfreak need to hold.
Yeah, and Excite struggling right now, 6 and 13. Double negative, need him to get going. You know, get feeling good here on the main stage at MLG for the first time. Not the best player in Australia.
And Excite, you know, he was crazy good on that hard point. He was fantastic at the start of that uplink. You know, he's been almost their star player, I would say, alongside the likes of Fighter. So see if he can heat up in the later stages. 3 go down, and again, that kill feed, it's all red right now.
And you got to imagine a lot of pressure on him. I mean, this is his first live event with Mindfreak. These guys are just used to the certain player that Denz is, playing with him for so long. that I know you expected a little bit of nerves coming in here for Excite. I mean, Buzzo even talked a little bit about it in the video that we saw earlier, but he has definitely played well up until this point, not too well in this game. Rise Nation has blown this one out.
Yeah, Rise Nation look like the Rise Nation we know and love. 220 to 116 right now. We're rotating over to the Cathedral. Both teams pinching in on this. I think Mindfreak will have the edge. They are going to get the double kill to secure that. They cannot let this slip. They cannot let it be broke. However, Looney, he's coming in with a Trinity Rocket.
Well, where we are in terms of scores, that even if Mindfreak were to hold on to this, I mean, Rise Nation, they just rotate over towards Broken, they can close the game here. I mean, it's not a position where Mindfreak is able to just kind of get back, tie the game up. And just like that, using those streaks, picking up some kills, Rise Nation is able to break.
That's a big lot of intel for Looney. He does go down, but he'll release that they're all coming over bridge. They're going to stack up here. Aqua's going to find one. Can he find a second? Not going to happen here, but they're so close to taking this. 15 points, in fact. Percento's going to hold tight. Fellow and Looney combining for a quick double as well. This is looking good for Rise Nation.
Right now, Mindfreak needs to push into the hard point. Only 6 seconds left for Rise Nation to take this game, force a game number 5. All the kills going in favor of Rise. It'll be 250, 126 in favor of Rise Nation, forcing a game 5.
Okay, so the hard points are split. We see the first go to Mindfreak. Rise Nation dominate the second. We're going back to Search and Destroy, and this is, honestly, this is where I think, I have no clue who's taking this.
Well, in our first Search and Destroy, we saw Rise Nation come out. They win that one 6-1. The one round that Mindfreak got, it was a 1v2 from FIDA. They got first blooded in every single round. Rise Nation got first blood against Mindfreak every single round. You're going to win those Search and Destroy blowouts if you do that. I think if MF can do a good job of not getting first blooded as much, maybe split that evenly, it'll be a much closer S&D game.
Yeah, and I think judging off what we've seen in this series, you've got to lean towards Rise. You've got to say that they were a much better S&D team. However, history, it's a different map. Maybe that was a bit of a weak spot for Mindfreak. Maybe they've learned their lesson. I hope they have. If they get first blooded on every single round, I'll be going on that stage and having a word with them.
Yeah, I feel like you're always going to look like a weak S&T team if you get first blooded every round. It's like I think it's a 70% win rate if you get first blood in those rounds. So you expect a game to go as lopsided as game 2 was if you're going to get first blooded that much.
Okay, well, Map 5 will be coming up very shortly. We're going back to Search and Destroy. It's currently tied 2-2 here. Mindfreak versus Rise Nation. I mean, this is a must-win game. We've highlighted it once. We've highlighted twice. Rise Nation need to take this, Mr. X.
Yeah, and this is such an important game in this group. Rise Nation needs to win this to really control their own destiny, make it out with FaZe.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with map number 5. We'll see you then. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to MLG Atlanta. We have got a game on our hands. Mindfreak up against Rise Nation. Australia, North America is going to game number 5. It's Search and Destroy. It is all on the line for Rise Nation right now.
Yeah, and if you're just tuning in the first Search and Destroy we saw between these two teams, Rise Nation took that one 6-1. Mindfreak, they won the uplink. They won that first hard point to force this game 5.
Yep, and they're 6-1. We talked about it. It could have been 6-0. It should have been 6-0. They took every single round with first blood. And for me, Mindfreak, they looked a little bit sloppy. It wasn't the Search and Destroy we know. The rig draft has come in. Nothing jumping out at us too much there. But Scorch, Search and Destroy here. We of course, we're on throwback Search and Destroy previously. Will this favor Mindfreak anymore? What are you thinking, Mr. X? You think this is going to be a bit closer?
I think it definitely will be. I think as long as MF does not get first blooded as much as they did in the first Search and Destroy, I think this is going to be a much closer game. These are guys who have been very good in Search and Destroy in the past. And I'm interested to see if we see any of the sniper play get brought out. Excite was a very good sniper in Stage 1. Aqua, a very good sniper on the side of Rise Nation. This is one of the maps we do see it pulled out on occasion.
Okay, well, Scorch is going to be the map, and we see predominantly all the teams on the offense pushing to that site right there, Site B. However, things do get changed up. Players like to be bold and different, but right now it's going to be Rise Nation on round number 1 attacking. You said it, Mr. X, it's Aqua with a sniper.
And he's trying to get some line of sight here on this player in the back. Usually there's one player back there who's jumping up, trying to get some eyes on the bomb site, and players not going to peek for Mindfreak. Going to play this one a little bit slower. And this one's a little bit easier to play defense, Momo. You know a lot of the action, most rounds are going to go over towards B.
This is a bit of a crazy play. He's got a sniper, but he's also got the bomb. He's pushing up on his own. And
very aggressive.
Looney and Facento are pushing through mid-map. This is very different to what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, to be that aggressive with the bomb and a sniper in hand, obviously no overkill, so he only has a pistol in his back pocket. He will be able to get bombed down as Mindfreak gets no vision on bomb. They actually are playing 2 players over at A as well, so a very odd defensive setup there for MF. Facento draw first blood, but Buzzo answers right back, and you see the position that the bomb is down in. Aqua's going to be able to watch that from a distance with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, he's got a good line of sight here. He will spot one. He's going to find him. Shocks, he's going to find Fellow, though, and it does not connect with a sniper. Second shot, second miss now. There's Aqua and Looney. They need to act now. Aqua with a big headshot, finds one with a pistol, but Fighter too quick. And we'll clean things up. Round number 1 goes to Mindfreak.
Yeah, and you saw the shots coming out with the sniper rifle. He connects with one, but the pistol, I mean, he's got the one guy to his right. Don't even think if he had an assault rifle in his hand, he would have been able to take the guy out to his left. But Fighter picks up Aqua towards the end of the round. Mindfreak takes round number 1 here in game 5.
Well, it's definitely better start to the Search and Destroy than the first map here. Will we see Mindfreak change things up? I actually saw Mindfreak play this map a little bit yesterday, and they were kind of edging towards A. We do see on the minimap here, they may be doing the exact same thing.
And it's interesting, obviously not a lot of footage on Mindfreak thus far, so Rise Nation not able to study their opponents coming into this one. So a lot of the North American teams do not see a ton of action over towards A. Mindfreak pulls that out. They'll definitely catch him off guard. 2 quick kills from Mindfreak, make it 3. So it's going to be Looney, the last one alive here for Rise.
Yeah, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Finds 2, though, straight in the line of fire. Can he find number 3? Looney finally falls, and Mindfreak clutch up once again in a 1v1. But oh my goodness, that was a little bit too close. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, definitely can't body stack like that. You saw both players just standing on top of each other for Mindfreak. At the end, they finally take out Looney. That would have been an awful round to lose in a 1v3 scenario. But Mindfreak jumps up 2-0 here in game 5. They're looking good. We need to see them get these first bloods, though. We have seen Rise Nation get it in the first 2 rounds. They've traded it out pretty quick, though.
Okay, well, it's a little bit of a smaller map, Scorch, of course. A bit more close quarter combat. We do see Mindfreak stack on B. Rise Nation, though, they're opting for something a little different. They are going to the opposing bomb site, and there is one player, number 6, is Fighter rotating round. He could be a key player here for Mindfreak.
Yeah, Mindfreak has done a lot of different looks on the defensive end thus far. I mean, the first 2 rounds you've seen from them, they send 2 players over towards A. The first time, that time they send nobody. They just go on a very aggressive push. And see Buzzo get first blood from Mindfreak towards the middle of the map. And now it's going to force the players on Rise Nation to look everywhere. He's going to pick up a huge kill there on Facento. And this is not the same Rise Nation team we saw.
No.
Second map, oh, Felony almost able to pick up Buzzo there. Would have turned it into a 1v1. Shock's going to get the defuse. Mindfreak up 3-0.
Huge play from Buzzo there, not particularly the last kill. I know he traded that out well, but those two entry kills almost to that A site were crucial to their victory. And you know what, Mindfreak, this is the Mindfreak, this is the Australian Search and Destroy. I know, it's calm, it's composed. They're 3-0 up, Mr. X.
Yeah, and I mean, we already knew this group was scary, and to see our Stage 1 and Stage 2 champions from last year in the ANZ region advance into it just made it even harder. They have given every team trouble in Pool A thus far, up 3-0 here against Rise Nation in game number 5 on the offensive side of things. Looks like they're going to favor over towards B yet again.
A little bit of a different setup. Cast your eyes to the top left there, that mini-map. You've got a line of red and a line of blue. It's who is going to make the first move. Mindfreak are on the offense. Fighter's going to be the one carrying that bomb, but very hesitant play. This is a little bit strange. Is there anything that you're thinking here from Mindfreak? What's this?
I mean, a really slow play from them, trying to catch somebody from Rise Nation off guard, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, looking at maybe Felony pushing up mid-map, maybe somebody like Facento as well getting pretty aggressive, but you know, Rise Nation not falling for it. Nade's going to come out here from Shocks, not going to get any tags on it. Just forcing the side of Rise Nation to play both bomb sites with some respect. They could push over towards them, but looks like the action going to go down over at B.
This could be good for Mindfreak here. We see Fellow almost all alone. Grenades are going down. A grenade is either side. He's not going to get tagged, but he needs to stay alive right now. He'll be called out, and who gets the first blood is important. It goes to Fellow. Rise Nation, they can play this a little bit slower now. 25 seconds, the bomb is not down.
Yeah, and I feel like Mindfreak just did not give themselves enough time when pushing over here. I mean, they waited till about 40 seconds left. 2 more kills coming in for the side of Rise Nation. Shocks trying to stay alive, picks up 1 more. But it'll be Rise Nation getting their first round on the board. But Momo, you can't make that push too late in the round like that.
Yeah, and that was, I think you put it, you know, nail in the coffin there. It was too late. It was something where they needed to act quick. They went into that round almost with, you know, let's catch one person on the flank, let's catch one off guard, but it didn't work out for them. I hope they learn from that and adapt. The first 3 rounds were very, very nice for Mindfreak. Let's see if they can bring that back.
Yeah, we have not seen Excite with the sniper rifle in his hands, and it may just be that Mindfreak is not used to playing with somebody who's very good with the sniper rifle. I mean, we saw Buzzo pull it out last year, but I would not say he's on the same level of Excite with the sniper rifle, and it would be interesting to throw that into their game. Kills being exchanged over by the B bomb site quickly into a 2v2.
Yeah, but one player is still lingering around. It's Aqua here. He could find 2 in the back. Well, Facento in a very sneaky position. Could a pinch come in? The one thing I will say for Mindfreak, they're grouped up. They should trade out. However, Rise Nation, they're completely split apart. Buzzo's going to get first. It's all down to Facento. He's going to go around the corner. He's going to find 1. I think he knows that he's in and around this building. He'll have been called out, but the bomb is still, it's lingering. These 45 seconds are going to be very, very tough. Fighter, though, he's backing off.
Still a ton of time left in this round. I mean, Facento knew exactly where Fighter was. He gets out of that position. He's going to put all the pressure here on Facento to try and make a play. Fighter going to fall all the way back. Now Facento has no idea where Fighter's gone. He had an idea early, now he has no clue.
And this is a real change in momentum. I will say, you know, from experience almost, 3-2 and 4-1, they are worlds apart. This is, I feel, if Rise Nation can take this round, this 1v1 with Facento, it'll be a great momentum shift. However, 1v1, he spots him in the corner. He's going to be taken down, and Fighter, the boys of Mindfreak, are going to take this 4-1. This is bad news if you're a Rise fan right now.
Yeah, and you actually made a very good point. That is a huge difference. It only seems like 1 round in either way, but you know, being up 3-0 and then losing 2 rounds, especially in that type of scenario, it definitely may have broken the back of Mindfreak, but they win the round. Fighter with a 1v1 yet again. I feel like he's been great for them in Search and Destroy. I feel like, you know, he's one of the names we've been calling out the entire series, and to be quite honest, you know, when he was coming up in the ANZ scene, everyone told me how good he was, how good he was. I've seen him have up and down games. This series is one of the best ones I've seen him play.
Yeah, he was around for a long time, a little bit too young to compete, but when he was of age, you know, he was quickly snapped up onto that #1 squad of Mindfreak. And this time, they're going to try and take down the beast of North America that is Rise. They are on the offense again, and this is pretty similar. We see one player is Excite, who's a little bit further pushed up, but very hesitant. I'm not sure about this play from them. It didn't work last time. Why do it again?
I mean, the only way I think it could work is if they go a little bit faster, but Excite, middle of the map, gets first blooded by Looney. It's going to not be good for the side of Mindfreak. I did not like this push at all, Momo.
No, I'm not too sure. Aqua, though, is on the flank, and you know what? Aqua could find out on Shocks. Shocks does have a Scarab. He does have active camo. That could be crucial in a round of victory. 3v4, though. Shocks fighting his way through the middle. Uncontested. He's going to find 1, but unchallenged. Buzzo's going to come and save the day. 3v3.
They saw this player inside observation deck. For a second there, it felt like Shock thought that player dropped at the beginning because he didn't look over towards there, but now Buzzo comes through 1v2 scenario. Gonna get tagged up. Going to be able to scoop up bomb here, but with only 23 seconds left, they've left themselves in the same problem they had when they used this push the first time.
For me now, Buzzo, if he's going to go for the plant, what I would say with Buzzo, he needs to get away. One thing he will get is overdrive, I believe, from this plant. Does he use it? Yes, he does. He's out of there. This is a bold play. This is investing a lot into the round, but if it pays off, it can be big.
But they have a very good idea of where he's playing. I mean, when you get the bomb down in that type of situation, in a 1v2, you're not going to play in that close quarter area. You're going to play over by the sky bridge.
Yep.
And I mean, you waste the overdrive, you get back to that position. You probably would have made it to that position without the overdrive.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think, you know, if he made one kill, then pop that overdrive and just kind of go crazy, run around.
Get lost.
That speed. I mean, I'd probably end up lost, I wouldn't lie, but that could have changed the game. But at overdrive, it's not your reactive armor. It's not your active camo. I don't think it's a game changer. However, that may come back to haunt them.
Yeah, I would have hated it more if it was a reactive or an active camo. Because it's overdrive, I don't hate it as much. But Rise Nation now on offense. See what they decide to do. The slow pushes have not worked for Mindfreak. Rise Nation, they are not playing this one slow. They are going fast over towards A. And this is honestly, Momo, I mean, if they lose this round, it may just be because they're not used to a different playstyle. Usually you don't see two players over on the defensive end over here, but it's going to be the camo use. Excite, the last one alive. Rise Nation comes back in the round, and they win it. They needed to use camo there.
Yeah, they invested a lot, and, you know, high risk, high reward. That was a must-win round for them, and they take it. However, going into this next round now, I need to see which player has which payload, because this is coming down to the wire. I mean, you can't get closer than this. Felony on your screens there. I'm yet to see kind of him kind of go crazy in the search and destroy. He has been one that stood out to me, but we do see Mindfreak now still in the lead, 4-3, and again that payload. Did he invest it?
I just do not want to see passive play here from the side of MF. I mean, they're being aggressive already, much better than they did in the previous rounds. And Sento is going to use a Scarab. He's going to get that one taken out. Now, nobody with payloads in this round thus far. So see if MF can push up to bomb and get it down. The Centurion gets dropped for Mindfreak as well, inside observation.
Yeah, interesting placement for that. And you know what? Mindfreak are fully taking control of this B-bomb site. He's going to be spotted. That's Fighter and Aqua, a very important first blood. Can he find the second? Yes, he can. The third? No. Shocks, the headshot comes in. But it's all up to the man who's found the first. He finds the second. But now Facento and Looney are on the hunting mode. The reload's going to come in. And that's going to end. It's 4-4. Rise Nation are back in this game with 3 rounds back-to-back.
This was a 3-0 lead for Mindfreak at one point. Rise Nation has clawed all the way back. Facento here in the final kill cam. A nice back whack there. Man, this would be a crushing loss for Mindfreak, but the experience of Rise Nation being a champions at Vegas, battling back here in a must-win Game 5.
Yeah, this is where composure needs to come in, and I will say, Felony, he does have his payload available. This could be a huge round to take that to 5-4. Do you invest it now? Let's see what he does. He spotted 3 with the cross. He may have to back off here. And that's what he's going to do. We see some Trinity rockets coming in as well. That's going to come in the favor, I'm not sure of who, but 7 kill streak coming in, and now Facento is lighting up.
I would have liked to see them use the payload at the beginning of this round. Really, you know, you get that 5-4 advantage. You know, after Mindfreak gets it up to a very good start, you kind of kill their confidence altogether. You put the game in your hands going on the defensive side of things. So we will see Rise Nation, they back up now with the man advantage. See how they play this. I'm shocked that, you know, they get man advantage and don't push straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're trying to convince Mindfreak that they're rotating out of this area, which it seems like they're doing.
Well, Rise Nation, they have that numerical advantage, and they're taking their time. 30 seconds left on the clock, and I tell you what, Mindfreak are fully committed to that A site. They've now realized that it's not going down. They're going to rotate round, but is it going to be in time? You do see, actually, bombardment is in the hands of one of the players. I think it's Facento. However, 3 versus 4. Mindfreak need to act quick here. This could be the rise of Rise Nation, as we do see them charge forward. Facento and Fellow, they pick up 1. It's all up to Buzzo in almost the impossible. He's going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's Rise Nation who go 5-4 in the lead.
Oh, Momo, this has not been good for Mindfreak. They get off to a very good start, and Rise Nation has stormed back. Now with Mindfreak going on the offensive end. They have tried to be passive. It has not worked. They need to be the aggressive here, but I believe Felony still has that reactive armor to use.
And Icy Bombardment as well available. I think it's Percento who was on a 7-kill streak. Fellow and Aqua have their payloads. There you go. So there's like 3 power weapons or score streaks you like. This should go Rise Nation's way.
Yeah, Rise with a ton of utility here. I mean, if they were to lose this game, the only one I can remember, I believe it was stage 2 in Fuse versus Splice, where Splice had everything at their disposal, and they end up losing that game. This is one where you look at everything on the table. Rise Nation has a clear advantage.
Okay, well, here is the man for Cento, 11-5. Excite, Fighter, they're fighting from the deficit here, and you know what? It's mentally draining when you do have that advantage. You know, you go up in a series or in a map, and then you fall behind. 50 seconds left on the clock. This is a big push from Mindfreak. They're fully committing to this. And who's going to get that first blood?
I will say, I would like to see Mindfreak potentially even push A on this one. I think that's probably where they could have taken advantage. Felony puts a lot of shots in one. You're going to see a team kill come in there, and 2 more come in favor of Rise Nation. Shock's the last one up.
Shoxy finds one. However, he's got to find a 1v3. He's got to find one in the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, Rise Nation battle back from what may have seemed a little bit impossible. They were 4-1 down in that map. They stayed strong. Percento went on a 7-kill streak. He unlocked everything available to him. They close it out. You've got to feel for the boys of Mindfreak.
Yeah, not as easy for Rise Nation as in the game 2. In game 5, they fall behind to Mindfreak. Just not enough at the end from MF to complete that victory. Rise Nation, they needed that win in the worst way in this pool. We'll get an update later and look at where they stand, but they look to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that is, how do you take that? I mean, you see the boys almost talking it over, but good sportsmanship as always. The Australian boys, they are not out just yet by any means. They've got the way into this